It is half-time in the Champions League last 16 tie against PSG. Liverpool, incredibly, are a goal to the good heading into tonight's second leg. That's after Alisson's heroics and Harvey Elliott's smash-and-grab winner in Paris 6 days ago. This famous stadium has seen many memorable European nights over the years, and it's all set up for more history to be made here on Merseyside tonight. All the action gets underway at 8 o'clock here at Anfield, and we'll bring you audio commentary of every kick. Welcome along to Matchday Live. We'll hear from former Reds Ray Houghton and Jay Spearing very shortly. But first, the team news for this evening's game. Arne Slot has made 3 changes to his lineup from the weekend win over Southampton, with Andy Robertson, Alexis McAllister and Diogo Jota coming back into the side. That means the boss reverts back to the same 11 that started in Paris 6 nights ago. The Liverpool team in full then is as follows. Alisson Becker, of course, in goal after his heroic performance last week. Virgil van Dijk captains the side alongside Paris-born Ibou Konate. Luis Diaz starts for the 5th game in a row. It's an 8th straight start for Dominic Szoboszlai, who's joined in midfield by McAllister, with Curtis Jones dropping to the bench. Mo Salah will be hoping to continue his fine form and increase his tally of a staggering 50 European goals for the club. Jota is back in for Darwin Núñez. Robertson replaces Tsimikas, and Ryan Gravenberch and Trent Alexander-Arnold complete the lineup. On the bench for the host, it's Jaros, Kelleher, Endo, Núñez, Chiesa, Jones, Gakpo, Elliott, Tsimikas, McConnell and Kwanzaa. Gentlemen, welcome to Anfield, what hopefully is another European classic. The good news is that spring's arrived, apparently. It is bitterly cold here on Merseyside, but we hope that the football warms us up. We'll get to the team in just a second, but Ray, give us a sense of the atmosphere around the ground as you made your way in, and the sense of anticipation. I think everyone understands that this is a real, proper European test tonight.
Well, we're really looking forward to the game first and foremost after what happened last week. Well, incredible result for Liverpool to come away with a 1-0 victory to take into the second leg. I've got to tell you, I came up with a lot of the PSG supporters today. I heard there's only 3,000. I've got to tell you, it sounded and it looked like there was 10 times that amount. They've been all over the city. They're all on the trains coming up. They're really looking forward to this game as well. I think it's going to be an incredible match. I think you've got 2 teams that are playing at the pinnacle of their abilities at the moment. Both of them have shown the consistency this season, particularly if you look at PSG recently. I mean, I was at 6 wins out of 7 or 7 out of 8. They've been absolutely phenomenal. The amount of goals that they've scored. The only one they haven't scored was the Liverpool game, and the chances they created was exceptional. Just couldn't find the back of the net. And obviously, you were saying about Alisson and performance leaper, but they are allowed to do that. Goalkeepers are allowed to make saves. You know, it is in their contract to do that, and it's just because Liverpool keepers all season have been redundant. You know, most of the games they've not really been involved, but the best keepers, when needed, come up with big performances. We come up with big saves in games to keep you in it, and that's what Alisson did last Wednesday in the match. But a lot of people were talking about PSG and they were playing them down just because they're playing in the French league. They're not a good side, but they weren't taking into account the way they've been playing recently and the goals they've been scoring. They are a phenomenal side. They've got some really technically very, very gifted players, and I think tonight is going to be one of Liverpool's hardest games of the season with the remaining fixtures that they've got. This is a top side. This is going to be an incredible game. I can't wait for the kick-off at 8 o'clock. It's going to be incredible.
Jay, it was notable that almost straight after the final whistle in Paris, the manager talked up the importance of the atmosphere here. How big can the Anfield factor be, and how important a part could it play tonight?
For me, it can be a huge difference in a game. I believe that the 12th man is the fans, the atmosphere that they can bring. Players that have come to Anfield will never experience an atmosphere like it, in my opinion, anywhere else. You know, these European nights are special nights. I think fans, players, managers, ex-players that come back to the ground always look forward to these occasions, and what an unbelievable occasion it can be. And Liverpool, just like Ray said, have gone away from home in a difficult stadium and against a very, very difficult team. Got a result. But the result for me, it can give Liverpool a huge amount of confidence. Even though, everyone's questioning, did they play well? How well did Paris Saint-Germain play? Yeah, they did play well, but Liverpool showed a completely different side of the game that they can play again and come out with a huge result. And sometimes, Ray will know as well as an ex-player that sometimes coming away from them games and winning them and then last gasp, when you haven't played as well as you probably could have, to win the game and come away then in the second leg be at home, what a huge amount of confidence that could give you leading into this one. And yeah, the crowd are going to have to be on there tonight and they're going to have to put pressure on this away team.
27 previous knockout ties, the sides lost the first tie at home. Only 3 times have that side then gone through to the next round. That underlines how important that late goal could be for Liverpool tonight, Ray.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about it. I don't think many seen it coming, to be honest. I think that most Liverpool fans watching and those in the stadium were probably thought, if we get away with a 0-0 tonight, absolutely brilliant. To get a winner was absolutely incredible, and it just showed you I think the spirit within this Liverpool team. When the manager, and we've seen it be under Jurgen and it's continuing under Arne, making substitutions at the right time, players coming on, but they're ready for what's in front of them. They're prepared, and I think that sums up the manager this season. It sums up the squad, the togetherness. Everyone seems to be on the same page. Everyone wants to go out there and impress the manager. They want to do the best for themselves. They want to do the best for the club and for the supporters going to watch. And then you see Harvey comes up, just strokes it into the far corner to give Liverpool that 1-goal advantage. I'll be really interested tonight, tactics from both teams. I think Liverpool, when they play quickly and they play forward quickly, they're a different side. When we try to slow it down, I see certain problems. We give the initiative for the opposition to come and close us down. Be interested to see what PSG are going to do tonight, because they need a goal to get back into it. They're 1-0 down. They, in some ways, have to be the aggressors at some stage in the game to come at Liverpool to try and get back into the game. And when they do that, they can leave themselves vulnerable to the counter-attack, because Liverpool are extremely quick in the changeover of possession from defence to attack. Quicker than most in world football at the moment, how quickly they get into advanced positions, create opportunities. First goal tonight is going to be absolutely massive. Liverpool get it. I can't see PSG getting 2 goals to get themselves back in. I just can't see them doing it, not the way that Liverpool have been defending recently. And if PSG get it, then it's a flip of a coin who's going to go and win the game.
In theory, Jay, the game of the weekend was supposed to be an easier lead into this match. But in reality, it didn't prove to be quite the cakewalk that we thought it might be.
No, and that's the Premier League, because to be in the Premier League, any football team that wants to be in there, they're going to be a difficult opposition. Southampton have got nothing to lose. At the end of the day, they've got absolutely nothing to lose. They're struggling right down at the bottom. Do we think they're going to go forward and get themselves out of the situation that they are? No, I don't think so. So coming to Anfield's a free hit. They can go and express themselves. The players can try and show the opposition, you know what, I'm a decent player. Maybe, moves in the summer or whatever when they go after they get relegated. But Liverpool have always seemed to have started the game slowly in the Premier League. First half results haven't been, if you look at them between the first half and the second half's always gone up a level. It's always got quicker, the ball's always moved quicker, we've been clinical, but knowing the front line that we have, the team that we have, we can create multiple chances. And when this man steps up into penalties, whether it be 1 or 2 in a game, you know exactly where it's going to end in the back of the net.
And the 2 things we did sort of see from this game is, 1, the manager being decisive yet again in his change, this time in terms of personnel, wasn't happy, 3 changes, bang, makes an impact. And secondly, from the players as well, they find solutions and ways to get through games where they have found sticky spells, by and large this season.
Yeah, there's no question about it. You just have to look at the way that Liverpool have played in tight matches when you're thinking, oh, they might not go on to get all 3 points. Manager brings on the substitutes and they have a massive impact. And that's part and parcel of understanding your players, knowing when the game's not going your way, how you change it, tactically what you do to try and improve your team to get even more out of them when you're playing against opposition. And listen, everyone thought you're going to go and turn over Southampton easily. Southampton are fighting for their Premier League safety. I know even with the points they've got, but they're in their heads going, well, if we win the last 10 games, we might get out of it. That's how you...
Oh, come on.
Really? I'm telling you, every manager, every club at the bottom, I'm telling you now. I was at Reading. We brought in a psychologist, and this lady told us we were going to win the last 10 games to stay up. I didn't quite believe it.
How did it go?
I don't think we won 1 or 2. But That's the reality. But like, that's the truth of it. You've got to keep believing. You've got to keep thinking, you know what, we're going to give it a go and keep having a go. And in fairness to Southampton, they came and had a go against Liverpool. They just weren't good enough in the end. Liverpool upped it in the second half, got the chances, what they have done in many, many games. They're always going to create chances, Liverpool, with the players that they've got. That's the style of football that they play. That's getting on the front foot, taking it to the opposition. Look, if you look to that again, have a look at many bodies are in and round when Darwin scores his goal. And then around the 18-yard, but there's about 8-9 players. Now that's a mentality from the manager to the players, where you're going to get into areas where you can affect the game. You're going to get opportunities, so that's where you need you. So they work on that on a daily basis.
I also think that, like, you know, the subs that he's bringing on, he's obviously come out after the game and said, listen, the standards for some players in the first half just wasn't good enough. For me, that shows the standards that the manager expects, whether it be, you know, playing against Manchester City, whether it be playing against Southampton. He expects a standard from every single player that plays, and he's brave enough. And, you know, obviously not brave enough, but he's the manager that makes a decision at the end of the day. And at half time, he's ready to go, no, do you know what? You're not performing to the standards I expect. I'm going to change it. I'm going to bring people on that are going to set the standard, and we're going to win this game. Because at the end of the day, Liverpool are chasing for this title. We have to win every single game as well as we can between now and the end of the season to keep pressure on everybody else.
There are no left field choices in the team he's picked today, Jay, but what do you think he's thinking with going with the players that he's gone with, particularly maybe through the middle? Why does he think Diogo Jota is the right option for tonight?
Before I answer it in the nicest way possible, there's no disrespect to Darwin Núñez, but I think the trust with Diogo Jota going up front down the central, Darwin, you know, he's been an unbelievable player for us. He's scored some very, very important goals. But I believe that the trust that the manager can have in someone experienced like Diogo Jota down the middle of the pitch, he can trust him in a job that he wants to do. I mean, like, you know, blocking the passing lanes, because you can see that PSG, they want to play through the middle of the pitch. With Darwin, maybe will he open up a gap and go and press at the wrong time, leave a gap open for them PSG to play through and obviously hurt us. I believe the reason he's picked the plays that he's done, they showed last week for me that, you know, for 60, 70 minutes before he made a couple of changes, they were willing enough, they were compact, they understood the roles that they needed to do. They knew that they weren't going to have a lot of the ball. They weren't going to obviously be dominating PSG, because PSG are a hell of a team. The manager knew exactly what he's going in for, and he picked an 11 that he felt that they could nullify what they were doing. And I felt at times in the first half, obviously they opened up us a lot, but I think the trust maybe there a little bit more to trust Jota in a way of him shutting up the middle of the pitch.
I think this is his go-to team. This is my opinion. You know, I think when he needs a big performance from his team, I think this is the 11 he would pick, in my opinion. I think these are the ones he trusts the most. That's nothing against the other lads, but I just think in his mind he knows it's probably his best 11. You need a team to go out there and perform to the best of ability to get you a result. This is the 11 he's going to pick, in my opinion. What I've seen of him, I've said it before. This is the team I think he would pick, and man for man, he believes, he trusts them, he knows the thought process, he knows individually what they can do as a group, and he trusts them to go out tonight and put in a big performance to get the result required to get through to the last day.
Big team pick for tonight. The big 90s bangers are going on behind me. Absolutely tremendous, by the way. OK, let's get the thoughts of the boss now. Peter McDowell spoke with Arne Slot when he was doing his media duties here last night.
What job lies ahead tomorrow night?
A big one. One of the toughest we've had this season, I think, particularly in the Premier League, in the Champions League, sorry. Although we've already faced here Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen as well, so another strong team. But I don't think we faced very strong team with a lot of quality. But this playing style with so much quality combined with so much intensity, yeah, I might be the first one that we faced that in this order.
You talked about them in the first leg as being great risk takers. Does that make them even more dangerous, knowing that they have to come here and win?
Yeah, yes and no. I don't think they will take extra risk because they take this risk from start to finish in every single game they play in the last 2 or 3 months. But yeah, you could also see the moment we scored. That was a moment that if you take that risk, if you go forward with so many people with trying to press us so high, yeah, one ball over the top and one player that's a bit too late and Harvey Elliott is open. And I think if I watched, and I did watch the game back, there were many moments where there was enough space for us to hurt them in the counter-attack. But it's also their quality because they are so intense after they lose the ball in their counter-press. that it's also sometimes difficult to make the right decision for our players if they are under so much intensity, and hopefully we can do that better tomorrow. That's at least what I expect, and I assume that we will play with a higher intensity tomorrow than we did in Paris.
It was some atmosphere there. You're expecting some atmosphere here as well, and you know players feel that in the warm-up, don't they? You're expecting them to be inside early like they were at the weekend to make a big difference.
Yeah, I think I asked for that. I also saw a clip, I don't know where I saw it, but that stadium wasn't full 25 minutes or 20 minutes before the start. So I don't think I have to wake anyone up, not the players, not the fans, for a Champions League, a knockout stage game. And you could also see it the second half when the players start aggressive, then the fans will back them up and will help them. But we have to understand that it comes from us first, that we have to be aggressive, and if the fans want to be the first one, they are more welcome to do so.
Yeah, he's looking for more intensity tonight from his players, more of that work rate we've seen so often this season. I guess we should start, when we look back at the last leg, by looking at where it finished and how important that Harvey Elliott goal was. How well he took it as well, Jay, to come on, make an impact like that, keep his composure and to be so decisive in this. But we can also make mention of the fact that Darwin Núñez plays a crucial role in setting him up.
Yeah, it's just like Ray said before, I felt the subs came on. You know, you always want your subs to come on and make an impact to the game. The first thing you wanted to do was get themselves around, be competitive, make things happen. And the two subs there, obviously Harvey and Núñez combining to get the final goal. Obviously Harvey Elliott's first touch, he was talking about it the other day of how now it's a record in the knockout stages. But Darwin, you know, he brought something completely different to what Jota did in that first 60 minutes or so that he played. He started to stretch Paris Saint-Germain, and I don't think they liked it. You know, Alisson went a little bit longer. He started to climb up for headers. He was competing, throwing things on them a little bit. You know, and what a magical moment for Harvey Elliott. You know, he's had a difficult season. He's not really had many minutes. He's not starting many games, but he's starting to come on and make an impact all the time. Does he want to be an impact player? I'm not too sure. You know, he's still a very young boy. Young man. He's got a long time in his career ahead of him. So I'm sure he'll want to change that perception that maybe he's looked upon him. But what an unbelievable occasion for him to get the goal and the winning goal it was.
There's no doubt about it. It was a smash and grab. Perhaps the biggest smash and grab since the FA Cup final in 2001. That's the one we were all thinking about watching it. Maybe why Stefan Oncho's downstairs doing the media, I don't know tonight. But sometimes you do need to rely on your goalkeeper, as you mentioned earlier, Ray, and Alisson stood up and just turned in one of his best performances.
Yeah, he was absolutely exceptional, the goalkeeper. But you expect it from him, don't you? Because he's that type of individual. You know, he keeps himself in super shape, reads it well. I mean, you watch his body position, he's already knows the angle of the shot, and he's already down to make the save. But just all his all-round game, that you'll see the players' reaction to him. You know, and that tells you the real story of his performance. They know how important it was for him to play in the manner that he did. But in fairness to PSG, they're probably wondering how they've not scored. They've done everything but. I thought the level of performance was excellent. Confidence was absolutely sky high. But they just came up against an individual in goal that had one of those nights that he just read everything. His positional play was brilliant.
If Ali makes a big save in the first 10-15 minutes here tonight, if you're a PSG player, do you think, oh God, not again?
No, well, listen, they're just thinking.
I hope so.
They're just thinking, can we go and get a goal? Can we get ourselves back into the game? Can we get the first goal in the match? And that's why I say tactically, what do? Are they going to sit back and look at Liverpool for a little bit? I think the atmosphere will be absolutely huge as well. You mentioned it earlier. I was here for the Barcelona game. I'm telling you what, I had to take my earphones off to listen to the noise because it was just incredible. And that's what you need tonight. You need that level from the supporters behind the players, and if you do that, that will certainly spur them on. There's no doubt about it. You come out at Anfield, you hear that noise, and as an away player, you walk out and you look around going, oh, I'm not too sure about this tonight. And that's what it can affect you. There's no doubt about it. It can either inspire you or it can put you in your shell where you don't want to get on the ball. So it'll be interesting to see what the PSG players are like tonight, whether they're really up for it or not.
Just to underline how good a performance it was by Ali last week, let's throw up his stats from that game. 9 saves in total, just shows you where he sits compared to previous Liverpool goalkeepers playing in this competition. It was an inspired showing by the Brazilian stopper. The interesting other stat from the game is just how little of the ball Liverpool had, Jay. Now, I know at times this season we have seen the manager allow his team to relinquish possession, be more counter-attacking, more defensively compact. We saw it so well done against Manchester City. But tonight, will he hope to see more of the football?
Yeah, I think, did he expect to go there and have not as much possession? Yeah, I think he did. I think there was a little bit to it where that was the game plan from the manager. But then I would also say that he didn't expect probably to have as least possession as he did, as the stats show. I do think that tonight he will want to have a lot more of the ball. He will understand, though, that PSG are a fantastic team in possession. They've got very talented players throughout the team. They can hurt you. So Liverpool are going to understand that there are going to be moments in the game where we won't have the ball. But I also think that that's a game plan of his where the players have now started to believe in the manager, where we've got a plan for it. There's a reason behind it. They're going to wait for them moments where we think, are we going to draw PSG and let them believe that they're controlling the game again, and then we go and give them a sucker punch like Ray said before on the counter attack. So the manager's game plan. There's method behind the madness, as people say, in every way that he does things, and to see him adapt as the game go on as well. He's an incredible manager, and he's going to have to, he's going to be tested again tonight.
Just on possession, though, I mean, you can make possession what you want. If you've got the ball defensively and you're passing it from right back to centre back to centre back to left back to goalkeeper, you can have as much possession you want. You don't want to score a goal. You've got 80 yards to go before you can get to the opposition's net. So I don't always subscribe to that data about possession. It's where you have it in the key areas, which is where in the final third where you can be creative, or the midfield third where you're dominating the ball and making the opposition move from one side to the other. Fine, but if you're talking about having the ball at the back and pass it back to the goalkeeper, I don't really look at that, because to me most of the time it's irrelevant, because you're not really doing a great deal with it. All right, you can pass out and people might like it, the fans might like watching it, but for me it's where you have it in the midfield and where you have it up front, because that's where you're going to start creating and scoring goals, and that's where you win matches.
But Jay, to your point, I guess what all of this underlines is the fact that this team this season have shown that they don't just have to play one way. Now, in the past we were very successful where we by and large played with the same way of operating. It was high intensity, in your face, high acting football, whereas this season there's been maybe 2 or 3 different variations along the way, depending on the opposition and the circumstances.
Yeah, like you say, over the last couple of years under Jurgen Klopp, we were incredibly successful in a period where it was almost seen as heavy metal, running, pressing, working hard, getting in people's faces. It was all about us. Where this manager for me has come in and he's got plan A, B, C and D, and how I mean that, I mean it by we can dominate the ball, we can build in the middle of the park, we can press forward, we can attack, we can be heavy metal. If he wants to be, he can be on the front foot. We can build in a low block, we can sit back in a low block. If the PSG game, we are practically on the edge of our box at times. The manager's got a number of ways of playing, which he's obviously sold to the players, and the players believe in everything that he's saying to them.
Okay, well, we are just under an hour away from kick-off here at Anfield, and we can head back into the stadium just now. Peter McDowell is on commentary duty tonight, and he joins us right now from up on the main stand gantry. Pete.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Thank you, gentlemen. A rare treat for me in the shoes of Steve Hunter today, and it's been a wonderful vantage point here, looking down on the Paris Saint-Germain fans who are in here very early. They've been all over the city today, and then the Liverpool fans, when they make their way in as to what they're expecting from the game. There's been some good banter going on between the two as well. But they've done this dance, of course, 5 times before. 3 wins for Liverpool and 2 for Paris Saint-Germain, but very different generations, and this feels like the start of something almost very special for 2 teams that felt as though they were in some kind of transition. But this is a proper game tonight. You might also compare it to some kind of heavyweight contest that we've seen in recent years as well. 2 teams that will very much go toe-to-toe. They'll slug it out if they need to as well. And as Luis Enrique said, he thinks the winner of this one tonight will be almost certainly there at the final on the 31st of May. And while we use that boxing analogy almost, there's been a bit of trash talking going on as well. L'Equipe reporting that the Paris Saint-Germain players were saying that they were much more impressed with Arsenal and Bayern Munich, the 2 defeats of course, but in terms of what comes here tonight, they're prepared for anything. And Arne Slot even admitted that he's maybe had 1 or 2 sleepless nights wondering whether he's really watched enough of Paris Saint-Germain to see what they have coming. But Anfield will bring its very best face tonight. We do know that. but will Anfield be enough? Liverpool have to pour every single sinew into this performance before they even think about what might come at Wembley on Sunday.
Thank you, Pete. Well, it's the part of the show now we have to say goodbye to those of you watching on social media. If you do want to stay with us, though, and enjoy the rest of tonight's Matchday Live, you can find out details of how to become an LFC TV subscriber online at liverpoolfc.com/watch. Still to come, though, before kick-off, we will hear from Diogo Jota. John Aldridge will then be alongside Pete on the gantry for audio commentary at 8. And Ray, Jay and myself will be back with you after the full-time whistle for all the reaction and analysis on the game here this evening. That post-match show will also be available as an official LFC podcast a little later on too. And you can watch the full match replay from midnight tonight on LFC TV. And do look out for the review show at 6 o'clock tomorrow, when Neil Mellor will be dissecting the details from this evening's events on the pitch in this last 16 second leg. This is Liverpool's sixth meeting with Paris Saint-Germain, with a place in the Champions League quarter-finals at stake. More build-up is on the way in a couple of minutes' time.